So, ladies and gentlemen, when you say the name Clem Tremblay for us in Northern New Brunswick, we recognize his great efforts over the last, I don't know, since the late 60s, early 70s as an athlete, a developer, volunteer, political leader, host, developer, the Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame, various, events, large or small. But when we really researched as media members, because he didn't talk about it very often because he was more well known as a senior hockey player for the decade that I was growing up in Northern New Brunswick. But his career and his connection with many of the Boston Bruins superstars of his era, he was a high-level prospect. Now, Clem, 5'6", 160, came from the beautiful Gaspé community of Chandler, Quebec, where there's now a rink named after him. He really came to prominence for a lot of people with the Bruins minor league program. As we know, the Bruins were sponsoring a lot of teams back in the day, and he played with three of the bigger franchises the Bruins were kind of promoting talent. The Victoriaville Bruins of the QJAHL, and in '66 the Shawinigan Bruins, where, get this, ladies and gentlemen, he had 74 goals that season and 125 points. Now, the Bruins' main OHA affiliate was the Niagara Falls Flyers of the OHA. And in 1966-67 season, well, I can basically say this. He was the best player not to make the NHL on that team. Because you look at the players he's teamed, just who's who. Derek Sanderson, Jim Lorentz, Steve Atkinson, Tommy Webster, Donnie Marcotte, Ricky Lee, Donnie Tannehill. All these great, and also Phil Roberto was still in the mix before he hit Montreal. And Dunk Wilson was there, one of the respected goalies, as well as Phil Meir. So his teammates were tremendous, and that's how good the Bruins system was. Now, I don't know the particulars of why Clem didn't make the NHL, but I know he did star with the Oklahoma City Blazers after wrapping up his career with the Victoriaville Tigers in '68. Now, '69 with Oklahoma, he had 16 goals and 24 assists for 40 games, including 2 assists in the playoffs. In 1971, he wrapped up that section of his minor pro career, not referring to senior hockey, of course, with the Dayton Gems with 39 goals in 61 games at a point-a-game pace, and including 8 points in the playoffs. Clem is still a very, cerebral guy, very tenacious. All my dealings with him, he's a straight shooter. He knows, basically, hockey like literally the back of his hand. But I was very fortunate when I started with the Dalhousie News and later with the Campbellton Tribune to have someone like Clem around to basically support not only minor hockey, not only senior hockey, but the various young prospects that were coming up from Dalhousie, from Beldoon, Lorne, Campbellton, Batters, the North Shore region. And like I said, he's an expat from the Chandler region, but the North Shore has a great affection for him over the years because he kind of broke through for a lot of young Gaspé and North Shore prospects. But to play with those strong players, and Wayne Cashman as well later on, it's funny how hockey goes. Somebody plays with 7 or 8 NHLers. It doesn't diminish the fact that he didn't make the NHL, but sometimes things happen, injuries or bad luck or whatever. But Clem Tremblay, for the time he played in the Bruins system, he was a top 20 prospect within their format, and top 20 in the Bruins back in the day. Two things are happen: you were a high-level minor pro, or you made the NHL. So no disgrace with Clem not making the NHL, but maybe in 2000, this was for expansion as well. So by '68 in the WHA, timing is everything in hockey. But just if you meet Clem, basically he shares a lot of stories about hockey, and if you have any hockey question, he's probably either seen it, done it, or answered it, because he's got a mind for sports, and his work again with the Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame is very well recognized in New Brunswick. And I think overall, like I said, we're fortunate to have people in different regions of New Brunswick like Clem, because they give back a lot to their main sport, but also to the sport development and the political side of it as well, because he was very organized in politics. and former Mayor of Dalhousie as well. Like we said, we talked about that. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye.